Is there such thing as moral anti-realism, and if so, what is it?
Well, yeah, moral anti-realism would be the claim that evil is a matter of our perceptions, or evil is a matter of our psychological states. But that nothing in nature is good or evil. It's only that evil is simply if something's good or evil, it's simply our view of the matter. It's difficult to make the problem of evil go once you've granted that. One of the interesting things are people who try to be moral anti-realists and then post the problem of evil. You don't have a consistent position. You have to believe in the reality of evil in order to blame God for it.
Sounds like subjective idealism just turned to the moral realm.
Well, you have to say that there are things that are really bad, are not just bad from our point of view, or out of our interests, or because they decrease our pleasure, or because we disapprove of them.
So if I were a moral realist, I would hold that there are moral truths independent of human existence.
Yeah, and there may be moral ties that is beyond our power to affect or create or destroy.
Would a moral relativist be incapable of being a moral realist?
No, that would be one way to be a moral realist. I mean, it's kind of it would be like being a reductive physicalist, right? Reductive physicalists believe that there are beliefs and thoughts; they're just brain states.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much.
Well, thanks, Dr. Pyne. Well,
so there's a coven of Tolkien fans here.
it seems like it. And Pyne fans, more so than Tolkien.
We're going to have a similar discussion next year after The Hobbit comes out.
I have to read it again. It's just a long time. Why did they make 3 movies out of it?
The moral and ethical responsibilities of stealing from dragons.
Yeah, it's just there has to be an excellence of being a burglar, right? There's the function of burgling. And there's an excellence associated with that function.
So the dwarves are just retaking what's rightfully there.
You see, Aristotle would have to say that's corrupt. That being a burglar is a corrupt activity. It's a corrupt function, even if you're stealing from dragons.
I just love the idea, the image of Aristotle sitting there thinking very hard about the ethics of stealing from dragons.
But now, burglar is always wrong. Apostrophe.
Except when
you're stealing from dragons.
Except when you're taking
Even
loot back from
dragons.
Well, technically speaking, they didn't even steal from the dragon.
Well, they killed him.
No, they didn't.
No, wait. It's been too long
No.
since I read The Hobbit. The
No, was it Bard? Brand
Yeah.
Brand of Dale
And
kills
then,
the dragon.
but
They
then
never
took-
steal anything from the dragon. They just simply claim what is no longer claimed.
After killing.
They did not kill
So
the
once
dragon.
someone's dead,
Is that
you
right?
just hogpile
Robbing the
on all
dead
their
is okay.
junk, and you're like, mine now.
I think you're.
There's no will. I mean, there's no pass on to whomever, so it's kind of open to whomever.
But that was the plan, wasn't it? The plan was to steal the stuff from Smiling the Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, so they didn't actually succeed
So if
in
you
their
show up
plan
at
to
someone's
seize
house
death.
and they're already dead,
I
it's
think
like,
your
well,
excuse
things
is
worked
right
out for us
now,
pretty
right?
good.
Might be.
If I may harp on this now that we have you here, and this is a topic that's kind of interrelated, you mentioned the phrase libertarian free will. Would you mind unpackaging that for us very neatly? Because there's a lot of determinism running around afoot. And maybe they need a dose of some libertarian free will. It hasn't been presented by a scholar, besides...
Well, 2 notions of free will. One of them is an action is free if it is caused by your desires. So if the cause of the action is part of your mental state, your character makeup, it comes from within you as opposed to being coerced or jogging your elbow or something like that. So on that view, then, that's perfectly compatible with determinism, because all you have, there's no proviso there that your motives and desires be under your control. The best version of that is, I think, to say that an action is free if it is caused by your reason-sensitive desires, where your desires are informed by your views, by your judgment about how best to achieve the proper ends. Libertarian free will would be an action is free if in the particular situation where the action token was performed, it is within your power to have chosen and to have done otherwise than you did. And that is incompatible with determinism, because if it was in your power to have chosen in that same causal situation, if it was within your power to have chosen and to have done otherwise than you did, then there were not antecedents to that action such that no other action, so that nothing else could have happened. So the reason why, you ask most philosophers now, okay, what's your view on free will? You're going to say, I'm a compatibilist. No, I believe in compatibilist free will, which is the kind that's compatible with determinism. But libertarian free will involves the capacity to choose in the situation. What has to be true is it was within your power, in the particular situation at hand, to have chosen and to have done otherwise than you did.
And is that independent of physical facts, whether they be determined or not? I know that sounds stupid. But a lot of people want to say, well, the decisions that are happening on the scale of biology down at physics are actually determined. And then there's even the quantum indeterminacy appeal that says, well, wait, no, there's still a part of that that's indeterminate and not necessarily fully determined. So there's free will there. There's a lot of point to
Yeah, I don't
physics
see
for
that. I'm not smart enough to see the connection between free will and quantum theory.
Same.
Mostly because I don't understand quantum theory, and I think it strikes me as something like a category mistake. Right? That you're just operating on different levels. You're looking in the wrong place for freedom if you're looking at quantum theory. I think in order to make out the case for libertarian free will, you have to say that there were in the situation causal antecedents that were sufficient to cause either of the actions, one of which you did. So let's say I'm trying to decide between, two CDs, Giulini's Don Giovanni and, the Snoop Dogg Christmas album.
It sucks, by the way.
What's Sean P. Combs calling himself these days?
Diddy.
Diddy, yeah, that's right. And so there, of course, I would, there would be no one who knows me who knows, perfectly, predict with utter consistency what I was going to do. But if someone who keeps up on current events more than I do, and then has an appreciation for Snoop Dogg and his artistry, and an equal appreciation for, both Giulini and for Mozart and his artistry, and so that is that there were the causal antecedents sufficient for me to be motivated and to choose the Snoop Dogg Christmas album, then it seems to me that situation could occur, where you have, then in such a case it would be within my power to do one or the other. Which you'd have to make out there is usually called agent causality. It's the best way to understand libertarian free will now.
Pop culture reference. Snoop Dogg recently went to Jamaica and had a conversion to Snoop Lion and has released one song off of his soon-to-be reggae album. So, new change in pop history. We're going from rap artist to soul brother. So it'll be interesting. I've heard one of his songs and it's really kind of wicked bad, but I'm hoping that maybe some soul will come.
Well, I think it's been downhill for him since East Side Writers. So.
Indeed. Fair.
Is his new album, has his new album been corrupted and his knowledge is now being used?
He put on the ring and ran to Jamaica is what happened.
I see. Now being used to misplace end.
So he got rid of dog, he kept Snoop?
And put lion. Like lion was this transcendental from dog, this vicious little creature, to a regal lion with a mane who just sits and perches. And
Okay, but he kept Snoop.
Snoop, yeah, he's still snooping.
Yeah, he's still lying on
I mean, if
top
he
of
took away
red
his
dog
trademark,
houses.
it wouldn't, his buzzer would be gone, you know?
Snoop? Whatever.
Sean gifted him with the name Lion.
Oh.
He was more like a lion than he was a dog.
Okay.
Well, he went from canine to feline. I don't know about that.
Is he gonna
You
be a
can't-
ferret next? Ferrets are cool.
Like a stinky like one. Anyway, sorry, that was moved. So I guess that might as well conclude. Another one. Officers, would you like to come in?
Okay. Thanks very much, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I have a really-
Oh, everybody behind